Christmas time is here. Happiness and cheer. Hey everybody, I was gonna ask you a quick question. Do you ever get like weird stuff in your Christmas tree, like critters and stuff? I mean, we've gotten squirrels, and we've gotten, my cat gets up here sometimes, and then, like this for instance. Like, do you ever get like vintage Masters of the Universe Zors in your tree? I mean, come on, this is like the fifth one. Come on, little guy. What are you trying to nest in there or something? Let's get you back outside. Merry Christmas, everybody. "'Twas the night before Xmas, and all through the mansion not a mutant was stirring, no snicks and no bamfin. The stockings were hung near Cerebro with care, stacked up by the X-Men full of goodies to share." Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. I'm excited for the holiday. I'm here today to just have a little casual chat about one of the greatest times of the year, and especially for me growing up, Christmas was... It's hard to express in words what Christmas meant to me growing up. Sometimes I literally thought my head would explode with excitement for Christmas morning. I mean, and I hate to be the person that makes it all about like what you're getting, but that's kind of what the channel's about. So, I mean, it had a huge part to play in the excitement I had for Christmas, Santa Claus, all that stuff. I believed as long as I could because I knew that that meant more goodies. I've got a specific thing I want to talk about, but first I just want to talk about like what my Christmases were like. I did a Christmas video last year. Check that out if you have not. It talked about the greatest Christmas I ever had, at least what I'm claiming to be the greatest Christmas. It's debatable. I had so many good ones. I said in that video, and I'll say again, I was quite spoiled on Christmas, and it wasn't because my family had money. We did not have any money. My dad was a pastor. We had nothing. The only thing I think we had going for us is that we lived in the parsonage, which is it's a house owned by the church, so we didn't have like mortgage or rent or anything. But even still, I think, and I've been told that all my Christmases were like credit card Christmases, so we didn't have money. So that's why I feel like I can sort of like talk about this and not feel too bad. So let's talk about what I got for Christmas every year. So I got, usually I would get, you know, whatever was hot that year, like full lines of action figures and like vehicles and play sets and stuff like that. I got all the big ones, really. I mean, I really don't think I missed much, to be honest. If I didn't get the whole set of something, I would at least get like a figure or two. And then like the things that always kind of like excited me the most, which is weird, I would get like one-off stuff. So my dad would he'd lay my stocking on the floor, and then he'd kind of like he'd stuff it with candy and like little things, little toys that could fit in there, and then he would just kind of like around the stocking he would put really cool 90s comics and drugstore toys that maybe had something to do with whatever was out that year. So like Marvel Comics, little shooter games or something. It would come like with a gun and like a target. They would break in an hour, but for some reason I just really loved all those little things, because I think it was because they were like a surprise, and maybe I didn't know that that was even in existence. And so, you know, I knew what I was getting as far as like the big stuff, but those things were always kind of a surprise. But today I am talking about it's gonna be a controversial one, I think, because some people are gonna be like, "What the heck is your problem?" And I'm just telling it like it is, okay? Today I'm talking about the coolest toys that I did not want. These are toys that, for various reasons, I was like not excited about, and I got them, and I got a lot of them sometimes. So I'm gonna go through. So let's get started with the coolest toys I never wanted. First up, we have 1994 Christmas. This was a weird one because when I was I was 14 at this Christmas, and it was starting the time in my life the only time in my life where I was kind of like not feeling toys, and I know it's hard to believe. I went out and I had my parents buy me football, curtains, bedspread, a doorknob thing that was like shaped like a football, and I tried to be like mature. It was fake. I hated football. I don't know what I was thinking. Toys were kind of like not on my mind, like getting into girls and just wanting to be cool and stuff, and toys were not cool. When you're in junior high, you're not supposed to play with toys. So yeah, I fell for the whole thing, and then like later on, 17, 18, I got right back in it, and it's just been like nonstop since. I think I'm probably more into toys now than I was like ever in my life. So yeah, Christmas 1994. So I need to give you a little background. So me and my dad had a miniature town in our formal living room, which I know sounds weird, but we kind of had that room closed off, and the whole thing was like made up like toy trains and miniature town kind of vibe. He called it Little USA. We had every state represented. I helped him kind of make it. It was fun. And underneath that table, we had made, it was like shelves, and you could crawl underneath, and then it was open underneath. And he had made that into like a spaceship kind of thing for me. So we put poster board up on the inside, and we drew windows and spaceship kind of stuff. So I would go down there and play. Well, I don't know why, but my dad decided to, in that year, use that to hide my Christmas gifts. So like he knew that I was gonna go under there probably at some point. I know I was getting a little bit older, but still I would mess around in that room, And so he had my Christmas gifts hidden in just giant Toys R Us bags in that little spaceship. And the set of toys I'm specifically talking about today that I found under there were the 1994 Spider-Man figures from Toy Biz. And I know what you're thinking. Why would you not want these? And like I said, I was just trying to be cool. Yeah, if you haven't seen these before, this is what they look like. This was based on the Spider-Man Fox cartoon. So I opened this bag under there, and it is overflowing with these things. And I think I had every single one on here. I'm pretty sure I had every single one, maybe more. I may not have had both Spider-Mans, or all three Spider-Mans. I think I may have had one or two of these, but all the villains I had. And I just remember thinking, I don't want these. What am I going to do with these figures? It's just a foreign thought to me these days. But now, what's weird is like now I love these figures. Hence why I went and bought one again for the nostalgia factor. So it's weird how life works, right? The coolest thing about these is they come with these little rings. Actually, no, they're not rings. They're enamel pins. Are they? They're little pins for your shirt. You can clip them on your shirt, and every figure came with them. And those are really neat. That's very unique for action figures. So I always appreciated that. I loved, or I guess I didn't at the time, but I loved the way the lizard looks with this little jacket. It was kind of like a clothy, plasticky thing. And Kingpin still may hold the record for being the largest figure ever, especially with the Marvel line. He was a very big action figure, and so that's my first one I'm talking about. Spider-Man 1994 Toy Biz. Did you have these? Did you like them? Up next, I've got this is Christmas 1992, so a couple years before, so I can't really use the excuse of being too cool because I was still very much into toys in 1992. This was one of my favorite Christmases, actually. I've shown these pictures before. I got like everything. I had 2 couches full of toys. I had like the floor was filled. It was quite iconic in my memory. And what I'm specifically talking about today at this Christmas was I got one whole couch was covered with Batman toys, and this is right after Batman Returns came out, I'm pretty sure. It was all Batman, a few DC figures. I had the Batcave, I had the Batmobile, had all of it. And there was one thing on there that I was like, I don't really care about this. And that was the Tyco Batman Gotham City Chase racetrack. It didn't specifically say Batman Returns on it, but it was like snowy on the front of the box, so it kind of gave you that feel because Batman Returns was set at Christmas. I didn't want this thing. I opened it and I was like, I don't like cars. I don't really like racing. I mean, it had Batman on there, but it was definitely like the last thing I opened that morning, and it was definitely not something I played with very much. Even still, I got my daughter one of these racetracks for Paw Patrol, and it's just like, what do you do? Like, you race them. You don't even race. You just touch a button and they just go around in a circle, and that's it. There's not much to it. That being said, I saw this exact racetrack in an antique store a few years back, and I flipped my lid over it, and I was like, I've got to have it, because when looking back on these toys you had, you don't remember the feeling of, I didn't want this. You know, you're not 12-year-old you are looking back through rose-colored glasses, and the nostalgia hits you, and the art on the box and all of that is just what I love so much these days. So I really wanted it. I didn't buy it, but it's kind of become like a little grail to me, despite being something I didn't want at the time. Next up, we're going back to the year prior to that one, 1991. I would have been just turning 11 in October of that year, and got some figures that I, again, did not want. These were the 1991 Hook action figures from Mattel. Hook was a huge movie that year. I think it was that year. I didn't look, but I'm sure it was if the figures were coming out. I loved the movie. Loved it. Robin Williams, Peter Pan, Hook. It was a great movie. I'm surprised to learn that this movie has a really bad rating on Rotten Tomatoes these days. I saw that recently. I had to go look for myself. I was like, wow, because I remember this being like the shit, you know? And so, shocked. But despite my love for the movie itself, something about these action figures I was not into. I was not keen on. I think maybe it's just like all the browns and just, I don't know, like they didn't pop to me, and the figures themselves just really didn't look that great. Like the Peter Pan's head's kind of small and his body's kind of large, and I want to say these were like the thing I wanted the least for sure that year. And I did play with them. I mean, I was still an 11-year-old boy opening toys, and I got the attack raft. I think it's called the Lost Boy attack raft. And I think I got another one. I want to say Rufio came with like a skateboard or something. So they had some cool play factor, but overall, not really something I wanted. I mean, now I look at them and I'm like, I see it differently, and I'm just like, these are cool. They're 90s action figures. It's what I love. It's my bread and butter. I really kind of want one, which is so strange, but Hook 1991 action figures, did not want. And then last up today, I am talking about one. I'm cheating a little bit because I'm twisting these around, like saying like, oh, I didn't want these at the time, but now I do. Well, this one, I gotta say, I still do not want. I still do not like these. And I'm talking about the 1994 Stargate line of action figures from Hasbro. These figures sucked. They just were not cool at all. I did not really like the movie. We went and saw it as a family. I mean, it was okay, but I didn't really care for it that much. I didn't really see why we needed action figures from this movie, because it just didn't feel like it should have any. And then as an adult, like in my late 20s, I ended up watching the Stargate series with the MacGyver guy. And I loved that, actually. I really, really liked that series. Totally gave me like Star Trek vibes, the way they set up the episodes, and it was way different from the movie. I think if the show had been a thing when I was a kid, I probably would have liked the figures from the show a lot more if they had made those. But yeah, these movie figures, they just didn't do it for me, and they still don't. I think I got like the They had a Star Wars ripoff kind of like creature that looked like the Bantha from Star Wars. Like I had that, had like hair coming down. I think I had every single figure from this line, I want to say. Maybe not some of the villains, but these things just didn't look that great. And I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. I just didn't really like them. You ran a really good game. It was like a 99.999% approval rating for me, so don't be too hard on yourself. But Stargate did not do it for me. Anybody like these things? Leave me a comment if you like Stargate figures from the 90s. I would be shocked. I would be shocked. Okay, I'm running long, everybody. I really just want to say Merry Christmas. Reminisce a little bit on past ones for me as a kid. Let's have a great holiday season and beyond, everybody. I hope that you continue watching what I'm putting out here. I appreciate everyone that's been watching. I know that it's hit or miss for me these days, but I still enjoy doing it. So I'm hoping to stick around through the new year. And I'm excited to see what the new year brings for YouTube stuff. Have a great one, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Oh, hi everybody. Welcome to the show. Well, do you ever have stuff in your Christmas tree? Like birds and stuff? Sometimes we get squirrels. Sometimes my dad's cat gets stuck. And do you ever have mutant heroes? Like Zor? Merry Christmas, everybody.